Hello, algebra students. Let's put our knowledge of simplifying algebraic expressions to good use, doing some work here with polynomials. So first example says find the sum of 3y squared plus 4y minus 11 and negative y squared minus 5y plus 17. Now, you don't have to know that these things, these long algebraic expressions here, are polynomials in order to do this problem, but because you're going to go into college and they're going to talk about polynomials all the time, we'll just say that a polynomial is a list of terms, so things adding and subtracting in the form of, like some number of variables to a power. So in our case, 3y squared plus or minus another variable to a power, another variable. So you'll see things like y cubed plus y squared plus y plus 1. Anyway, that being said, I don't have to know any of that in order to find the sum of these suckers. Sum means they'd like me to add them together. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take 3y squared plus 4y minus 11, that whole thing, and add it to negative y squared minus 5y plus 17. Now, I used parentheses just so I could communicate to you that I'm adding that whole thing with this whole thing, but I'm actually kind of super lazy because I totally know that parentheses aren't necessary when we add. I say that again, parentheses aren't necessary when we add because we're able to add in any order we want. So even if you didn't write down the parentheses here, you'd be totally safe and we're going to get to the same place. All right. So now that I have it written like this, it's probably easy to see that all I'm doing is combining like terms. Now, this one might confuse you. And that's kind of why I did this example. You see that plus minus. You're like, what does that mean, plus minus? Well, plus minus means the exact same thing as subtracting. Like if you add a negative number, you add debt into your account, it's the same as subtracting money from your account. And so if that's freaking you out, you can literally write it with just a negative sign. And you say, aren't I subtracting? No, you're adding negative y squared. And that's really the only change we're going to make there. And now we can really see that combining like terms. So if I have 3y squareds, I can only combine y squareds with other y squareds. So there's another y squared. I'm going to take away one of those y squareds, and so I'll have 2y squareds. Done with the y squared terms. Now I have positive 4y. Remember to keep the sign. Minus 5y. I have 4 of something, and then I go and spend 5. Dude, I'm in debt. I'm in debt 1y, but I'm a mathematician. I don't write negative 1y, I write negative y. And by the way, you can do that in your calculator, 4 minus 5. All right. So I dealt with my y terms. And now I have negative 11 plus 17. And again, feel free to do it in your calculator, but you're going to get positive 6. And so you should write plus 6. And it might feel like you have more work to do, but this is it, because that's as much adding and subtracting you can do because you don't have like terms. So final answer here is 2y squared minus y plus 6.